Hello, everyone. Welcome to another podcast. I am blessed today to be joined by Suresh Kumar. Suresh Kumar is with Avenir Digital. His website can be found at www.avenirdigital.ai. That is Avenir digital.ai. He's doing some wonderful things for his clients when it comes to artificial intelligence, implementing artificial intelligence, as well as digital transformation, which I know is a term that is thrown around quite a bit, and most people don't get it quite correct. So I'm sure that Suresh can lend his wisdom and experience to that. Suresh, welcome to the podcast. We're blessed to have you.
Very much. Thanks for inviting me. It's really interesting to unwind what I learned and what I have. So yeah, I'm pretty much looking forward to have this discussion with you today.
Same here. So tell me a little bit about you and your background. How did you get into artificial intelligence, digital transformation, and tell us a little bit about how you ended up where you are now.
Yeah, yeah. My story started in 2000 when I went to UK as a student. I worked in IT company before starting my own entity called Avenir Digital. Um, it's been 20 years. I've seen the desktop applications, mobile applications, and quite a few ERPs and so on. So now we're talking about AI and machine learning and digital transformation. So my journey has been 20 years, and I've seen quite a bit of it. I've seen recession. I've seen the financial meltdown in 2008. So all in all, we have learned a lot of things, and we have done quite a bit of work. So you probably not seeing me with a lot of gray hair, but yes, I have done a lot of interesting work in the last couple of years.
Well, I see a little gray hair on the beard here. I obviously
Yeah,
don't have
exactly.
any gray
I try to cover as much
hair.
as possible, but nevertheless, you caught me there.
So tell me a little bit about your role at the company, Avenir Digital, and how does that fit into what the business itself is looking to accomplish?
Well, I am a CEO of the organization. I'm a founder member of the company too. My predominant work is looking after quite a few of them, but I spend at least 70% of my time engaging with the customer, try to understand their challenges and the problems they're going through. And we do have our own kind of a lab facility where if I see any challenge, I will probably go back to my whiteboard and design what is important for the customer to solve the specific challenges. And yeah, my job is to keep a customer engaged and then give them a solution which they're looking forward to solve the big problems. Yeah.
That's great. So obviously the word digital transformation, artificial intelligence, AI, ML is being thrown out a lot today. Um, what is your definition of AI, machine learning, and digital transformation? And what are some of the common misconceptions you see about those terms out in the market today?
Yeah, I answer this in two different sides of it. One is what is artificial intelligence, what is AI, and what is ML. Why people are emphasizing most of it at this moment. So if you look at it from 2000, so businesses are doing manual work, and ERP came into equation, said yes, we will solve a lot of your problems, which is fantastic. So the people have invested a lot of time and efforts into ERP solutions like whether it's a SAP, Oracle, or Dynamics, and so on and so forth. That's absolutely fine. Things are happening. People are seeing a lot of results, but when a lot of data is consumed by these ERP solutions, then the businesses say, okay, we got a lot of data, and the data, we have a big data warehouses and big data sitting across our servers. How do we use it, and how that we use this particular data that is coming? That is where the AI and machine learning can add a lot of value by giving them a predictive analysis report. It's like a mirror of your current situation. So if you look at yourself in the mirror and say, yeah, I want to become X and Y, and this is where the AI and machine learning can bring a lot of value by looking at your internal systems. I understand what kind of data that you have and bring to the fruition and say, hey, no, now this is the data that you have. If within this specific data, you probably achieve your forecasting of your company, where the sales will be next couple of years. and how do you see your productivities in terms of your customer engagement and so on and so forth. So it's a reflection of what you're doing currently. If you don't have any data, for instance, there is no AI and there is no machine learning. You cannot do anything without data in existing at this moment. So along with that, the cloud came in because it gave a lot of flexibility to capture the data and also give them a flexibility to do what they're doing. So all in all, every company has to look at their internal systems, try to understand what is the data is teaching them, and using AI and machine learning can and probably give them a more flexibility at the same time, give them a predictivities of how the business will be in next couple of years, and that will help the stakeholders, customers, and all of those people who are engaging with the specific company doing what they do.
There's a
That is
big
my definition of it.
That's a great definition. So there's a big push now on being quote unquote AI ready.
Yeah,
I've always thought, the way I look at artificial intelligence, I started my career at Accenture. And if you really think about software, it digests data, it processes data, and it sends out information. Well, to me, the difference is, between traditional software and AI is that I consider a traditional software package, like for example SAP, as just that. You feed it data, it processes it, it gives you an answer, and then you go with it. To me,
exactly.
the difference is artificial intelligence is taking that data and reiterating over and over until you basically tell it to stop until it becomes smarter to give you the right answer. However, if you feed it garbage, it's going to give you
Obviously,
better garbage,
garbage.
right? So
Yeah,
tell me
exactly.
about what you look for to make sure that a client is AI ready, or is that something that you also help them do?
See, most of these, the current engagement of current customers, they're touching the surface. I mean, AI is not fully matured yet.
Right.
And they do have a lot of data scattered across all the systems they have. So basically, they have to do the fundamentals where how do we consume the whatever the consumption they have in the data, they have to segregate everything, put it in a specific for a specific databases. That is where they have to do a fundamental analysis about the current AI journeys they want to take it. So to answer your question, basically we normally as a company will understand their touch points of data, where the data is coming from, what kind of data it is coming from. So the fundamentals has to start from cleaning the data, processing the data, and creating the data flows where we can able to consume our system solutions or AI, ML patterns can able to consume the data. So that is a fundamental. The customer has to understand where the data is coming, and that is very, very crucial for any AI and ML be successfully implemented in any organization.
It's a great point. So tell us a little bit about who your target market is, and what are some of the challenges that you find that your target market has that you believe that your services and obviously AI and digital transformation can help address and solve?
Yeah, thing is, AI and machine learning can be used across every vertical, whether it's a startup, whether it is a big company, a small company. Again, depends upon what exactly are you trying to solve the big problems as such. So talking from the fintechs as well as the startups, their fundamentals may be different because they don't have a data which is consumed from last couple of years. So their request and their ask is different, saying that how do we optimize our efforts and how quickly we can go to market. And second thing is how do we engage our customers so that we'll get a better returns of investment with a, it will not very instantly, but at least they need to have some process in place. If it is a big organization, that is a sweet spot for us. At the same time, that is a challenge. At the same time, the sweet spot is that because they have too many systems, legacy systems, too much of data flowing across, and they have multiple applications. So most of the applications they don't talk to each other. So that is a chaos. At the same time, that's an opportunity for us. Whereas the small companies, the opportunities, yes, we have an opportunity, but it is a smaller opportunity, but their ask is different. They want to engage more customers and get more return on investment,
That
basically.
makes sense.
Coming back to our sweet spot, we have large amount of experiences in pharma, life sciences. banking and financial institutes. And the best part is Avenir has created fully optimized AI solutions can be done used. So, for instance, if the customer say that okay, I want to have invoicing processing to be done, we have an entire solution which can capture the data and also publish the data, nurture the data, and capture the data, and so on and so forth. So we are a company where we bring a lot of platform as a service at the same time outcome as a service. So the customer no need to invest any capex in terms of the engagement with us. It comes with all we need is input data and output data, and rest we will take care of it. So that is an advantage of working with a Avenir or company like us. We can able to bring a lot of value in terms of what we've done and what we do.
That's pretty compelling. So it sounds like your clients don't pay until they see value. That's pretty important.
Exactly,
That's great.
exactly,
That's phenomenal.
exactly.
Okay. Speaking of your clients, and it sounds like you've got some tremendous experience in healthcare. You know, you mentioned life sciences, pharma. Can you give us a couple of examples of clients you work with? You know, what challenge were they experiencing when you first met them? What did you do to fix it? And obviously, what was the outcome as a result of your efforts?
Enough. See, we have different kind of engagement. So let me start with Greenfield. Greenfield is a very great opportunity at the same time great challenge as well. Um, they are not aware of what is RPA can or AI can do, so they are very apprehensive regarding how do we engage and what exactly we're going to change. So we start with a consulting service where we provide them FS hours to identify the pain areas that they're going through, talking to their stakeholders, the end users, and business users, and so on and so forth. So we identify very high um, demand processes which can save the efforts, money, and processing time. So that's how we started. It's a greenfield process. And based on that, we'll give them a return on investment matrix saying that, hey, if you engage or if you do certain processes, you probably save 30 to 40% or even 50%, depends upon which process that we are connecting. If it is an engagement where the customer has done quite a bit of work in terms of RPA, that is a huge opportunity for us because um, you know and somebody in the office has done a one specific process or one AI and bot, and he thinks that RPA is done. But that is where the challenge comes because they are not going to use the same facility which is being provided for one particular process. So they're not cross utilizing any of those activities. So we bring the we streamline the whole process, give them a better solution at the same time, make sure that all the processes talking to each other, which means they're going to save time, efforts, and overall the productivity improves 30 to 40%, even 50% of the activity they're doing. So we have engaged with a lot of customers who are greenfield, and we have engaged with the customers who have some sort of activities in house, which is not yielding a lot of benefits, but we have made a significant changes in their outcomes, and we have got a lot of successful stories. So just to give you an example of one or two instances that we helped a lot of customers is one of the pharma company where we provided two specific uses. One is the R&D of the medicines going out, which is a huge demand in the organization because one, the materials, the procurement is in strain because they're buying products and which is not being utilized properly, and obviously the data warehousing is consuming a lot of these materials and so on and so forth. So we help them the streamlining from backwards, such as where the demand is coming from, when the demand is going to come, and how much raw material they should keep in their warehouses so that they can reduce a lot of their logistics problems as well as the storage and so on and so forth. So which is obviously huge saving for the organization. The other instance of that what we have done is we have streamlined a lot of the sales returns and sales processes, which is again the people are on the ground are taking the orders and they are not utilized properly. So there is a lot of chaos in ordering, taking the order. So we streamline the whole process. Now the orders has improved 30 to 40% of their of the orders. At the same time, the people who are on the ground has got a lot of flexibility to take the orders and also visibility of what is coming, what is not coming. So they can able to make a good commitment to the end customer saying that okay, your order will be done and it will be coming and so on so that so at least they have a clarity and visibility of what is coming and when it is coming and so on. So these are the two instances that we have. The other instance that we also are very proud of, or we are very proud of, is the invoicing processing to one specific company. they're going through a huge manual process where the truck drivers as well as the people on the ground has to collect the checks from the distributors and as well as retailers, bringing them back to the office and then scanning it up or putting in the bank. It's going to take it's taking approximately 7 to 8 days, the whole process end to end. We reduced that to 10 minutes where the truck driver or a sales guy can go and scan the document instantly from the shop floor, and the check is being processed straight into the bank, which means they're getting the payment done instantly. And they've reduced, more than 7 to 8 days of the whole process. So we have huge amount of references to talk about it, but nevertheless, these are the two important use cases we found. We save a lot of efforts and money for a lot of our customers doing what we need.
What would you say? I think you brought up a great point, which is RPA. A lot of companies adopted RPA in the 2000s and they thought that was the greatest thing since sliced bread. What would you say to a potential client that says, we don't need automation, we have RPA? What is the main difference between, in your mind, artificial intelligence and RPA, and what makes artificial intelligence potentially a better solution?
See, there is a slight difference between RP and AI. Well, say for example, RPA is nothing but you got a food delivery guy coming to your house and you're letting him. So now you know that he's coming. You know that you have put an order. He's coming. Whereas if you adding A on top of it, it scans the guy and say, hey, I got a you order something. The guy called so and so came to our door and I'm letting him into the house. Would you mind doing it or not? So that is the difference between RP and AI adding to it. So to answer your question, RP is very important, which means it will streamline your process, but AI will add value by identifying whether this process is good, bad, ugly, and you can take a decision based on that. So they are hand to gloves. You have to have both of them to make it intelligent RPA rather than just simply doing the postman work to answer your question. So that's the difference between both is what I suggest.
One of the many things that impresses me about you is that I don't get the feeling that when you come across a client engagement, it looks to me like you are solution oriented, results oriented versus trying to push AI or RPA or whatever on the client. It looks like you're first trying to understand what is the issue, what is the challenge you're trying to solve, what's costing you money, what are some of your arduous processes, analyze that, understand where the different data points are, what the bottlenecks are, and then recommending a solution, whether it's artificial intelligence or something else. Is that accurate?
Definitely, 200%. So that is exactly where we bring a lot of value with regarding our consulting. So we don't just jump into a conclusion saying that you give us the work and we get the work done. No, we will definitely ask relevant questions. Basically, the fundamental question that why you're doing what you're doing. So that is our mantra. So tell me why you need this and what is that is going to change if we provide a solution. What is the which is going to change your projections? It is going to change. Which is going to save time, or what exactly your intention of doing what you're doing. So based on that, we will try and give them a solution. And at the same time, we don't insist on buying any additional software. We basically understand what is the existing solution they have, what is the platform they're using, and try to engage with the specific application. Until it's not giving the results that we are looking for, then we recommend a platform or a solution depends upon what they're looking for. So to answer your question, we definitely go with a consulting approach before we make any suggestions or any implementations or any of those.
Do most of your engagements start with a initial like 3 to 4 week discovery or assessment phase, or do you typically find yourself also going right into the project, or is it a combination of the two?
It's a combination of two. Basically, we go with 8 hours of free consulting, which we provide as a complimentary to just to identify the big ticket, one or two processes in the organization, which is definitely giving them a pain or not even good results. And then in 8 hours, after the end of these 8 hours, they will have a kind of a document from us saying, hey, these are the problems you have, and this is a solution. This is what you want to save as a time or money or combination of both. And after the 8 hours of consulting, the customer said that now that you understood the challenge, so what is the solution? Then we will probably get into the engagement try to give them a solution. We normally do a specific activities like building a MVP or POC to just to create a value that we are bringing. And then if the POC is successfully done, then we will go for a full-blown solution and service, and then we will try to execute all those findings that we have in the process. So yes, we will take a step-by-step process so that the customer can see the visibility of what is coming, how things are moving, and there is no big investment where the customer say, "Oh, I have to invest all of this money before they see any results." It has to be a step-by-step process so the customer can see the visibility. Then we will definitely see the value based on what we are providing.
That's great. What do you see? I mean, obviously there are one or two competitors in your space, right? One or two
Yeah, yeah,
thousand.
quite a few of them.
I'm sure it feels like 1 or 2 million sometimes. But if somebody would come to you and say, "Look, I know a company that does something similar to you or what have you," what would you say makes you different, better, unique than others out there that claim to do the same thing that you do?
Good point. We do have multiple things. One is the our we we bring value on two folds. One is we identify the problem, we give them return on investment metrics, which most of the companies do. I don't know whether there are a few people do, but most of the companies they don't invest that kind of a time to give the customer what they're looking for. And second thing is we only charge based on outcome. We don't charge you for, oh, I have 10 people working, 20 people working, so please give me X amount of money. No, you see the results, you pay, and you see the results, you pay. So it is a step-by-step process where you see the first results and you pay X amount of money. You see the second results, you pay us. And the third one is we have a huge amount of experience that we accumulated from last 20 years. So our volume, the implementation that we have done, our kind of work that we have done, it talks volumes about what we have created. So yeah, there are multiple things. Yes, of course, there are few challenges along the line, but we have been very successful and quite a bit of work. So our references talks volumes of what kind of work that we do. So
Yeah, I like your performance-based pricing. That's great. We do the exact same thing. So what's working well for you right now, and what are some opportunities that you see for improvement, either with your company or with artificial intelligence? Like what's going well, and what do you see as some opportunities for improvement?
the one thing that is kind of helping our organization is we have a predefined shift flow processes, which is predefined, which means we have invested a lot of our efforts and time to pre-build those use cases. That is helping a lot because the customer no need to invest per cap. So it has to be like process oriented. So if you customer say that I have a 10,000 invoices to go through, or if you have 100,000 invoices go through, we have a solution which can be done quickly, and the customer will pay, once after the consumption of a specific documentation or a process. So that way the customer sees the results and he will let you know. So like that, we have KYC, bank reconciliation, and we have payment processes. So for a few, we have around 11 to 12 processes which are predefined. And that is definitely keeping us busy. People are seeing the value that we're bringing on. And second thing is it's a pay as you go, so there is no risk involved in initially to engage with us. So that's one thing that is showing a lot of results for us. And second part is, yeah, we have been talking to a lot of organizations. The one big challenge is most of the people are talking about AI and machine learning, but not many people are kind of having any budget to engage and at least do a POC. There is a buzz in the market, people are talking, but in ground reality, there are very few people are implementing it. Some of them have started doing it, but they are in the very early stages of POCs or MVPs. But there is a huge opportunity and a big learning curve in coming years. So I see this trend is going to be like, next 5 to 6 years, this trend will be there. And most of these companies definitely utilize this AI and machine learning one way or the other, whether it's a sales, marketing, product enablement, quite a few of those opportunities are.
Makes sense. I remember earlier you said that AI is still in its, maturation phase. It's kind of still in its infancy. I'm curious as to why you believe that. I personally agree with you, but I'd love to get your opinion on why you think it is, and what do you foresee the maturation process over the next 6, 12, 24 months when it comes to AI and ML?
Yeah, as I said before, AI and machine learning can do wonders. I know there are a lot of startups who are creating some sort of a video generation, AI generation videos, voice enablement, but they are segregated. They are in a very specific activity. So if you come and make everything together, there are a lot of enhancements that can be done in the future. Currently, they are working on a silos. For instance, if there is some of those products or platforms are just helping you send the emails to the prospective customers. I've seen a lot of them, and I also saw a lot of AI-enabled voices and videos. But if you look at it, all of them they are shallows at this moment. If you want to put everything together and create a big impact, that will take some time. And look at the OpenAI and DeepSeek and all those. They're coming. They are coming in a very advanced situation. But how are you utilizing this in a real enterprise scenario? I think that's too early to talk about, to be honest.
Yeah.
But on outside of it, yes, there are a lot of AI-enabled tools, technologies, platforms are available, but they are working for individual resources rather than a enterprises side of the organization. That's what I believe is at this point.
Yeah. So in other words, the technology obviously is just going to keep getting better, but at the same
Yes,
time, don't wait for it to absolutely 100% mature before implementing it because you still have business problems that you're dealing with
exactly.
today. So, okay.
Yes, that
Um,
is exactly where we come into equation because if you have a shallow application, so you cannot consume everything together and put a solution. So that is where the enterprises need a company like us to understand these kind of tools that are available. How do we utilize them from internal enterprises point of view? From individual consumption, that's good. You don't need to have any specialized skills or specialized companies to help you out with.
So, well, there's obviously there's a lot of applications uh, in the marketplace, and I think I think they come out with quite a bit each day, if not each week. And obviously, it can get pretty overwhelming as to trying to figure out which tool to use or which not tool to use. But it sounds to me like what you're saying is forget about the tool for a second. Don't worry about the vehicle first. What is the business challenge you're looking to solve? And then the
Yeah.
solution, comes after that. But are you still finding that a lot of companies are approaching AI, which what tools should I use versus what problem should I solve? Are you still seeing that?
Exactly. I've seen a couple of instances where the customer brought a platform or a solution from whether the CTO recommended or CEO recommended. They have the licensing and they have everything in place. But how much they're utilizing, if you ask them in a ground reality, the ground reality is they've only consumed 30 to 40% of it. And they claim and blaming the platform saying that it is not yielding the result that you're looking for. But in ground reality, what exactly your intentions are and where is your data, how much you want to consume. So all those parameters are quite essential. So yes, I'm still seeing a lot of companies are not openly talking about the challenges, but there are quite a few. And some of those instances where I've seen a very interesting use case a couple of weeks ago. The customer said, "I want to do a KYC process, but I am consuming KYC APIs from three different customers or four different service providers." And they brought the structure and they brought the APIs and they created a structure, but that's not essential. You need to understand what exactly you need to do the KYC process with and then consume it. And anyway, the long story short is there are quite a few hard questions they need to ask internally, what exactly they want to do, how they want to do things together. So yes, it's too early to talk about it. But yeah, if somebody brought a license, nothing, it's not a bad thing to do. It's just that we need to have a clarity on where and how we need to utilize these platforms or solutions.
Makes sense. In terms
Sorry,
of
yeah.
your as we're coming to a close here, as far as your company is concerned, and by the way, congratulations on your success. Having a company for 25 years is not easy at all.
20 years.
20 years, excuse me. So, what is your vision for your company? Like, what do you want to be known for? What is it that you're looking to accomplish, and what type of impact do you want to have with your clients and within your community and the people that you serve?
See, we would like to, if I definitely want to have Avenir. If anybody is talking about digital transformation as digital enablement tools and services, Avenir has to be their top priority. and we created a name in the same space, and we would like to be known as a digital enablement solution service providers. And the best part is we would like to create a solutions and services where without taking too much of pain from the customer's financial or a budget point of view. So we bring a lot of people has to come to us saying that, hey, I know I have a solution, I have a problem, give me the solution, and we consume the solution and we pay you based on the consumption of XYZ. We are happy to do that. We are very flexible in engaging those kind of customers because if you have a problem, our our mantra is if you have a problem, there must be hundreds of other customers have a similar problem. So you build a solution, you use it, you pay it whenever you see the results. So that's how I would like to see it as an organization. And yeah, we are expanding. We have a lot of customers, and we are also engaging with quite a few of them. We also partner with a company called Finestra to enable us to go to their network of bankers across US and Europe. So they consumed our services thinking that we are one of the best solution providers that they found in the market. So that itself talks volumes about our capacity and capability that we bring onto the table.
That's great. Well, Suresh, thank you so much for being part of part of our podcast. I really appreciate it. I thought it was
Yeah, bro.
a very informative interview, and it's so funny how it always comes back to people. What are the business challenges? How have you tried to solve it in the past? What would it look like if it were fixed? And then applying the right solution. So I think you hit the nail on the head. It's not asking what AI tool should I use, is what
Yeah,
business problems should I address, or what are my pain points,
exactly.
and let's understand how that pain point got created, and let's determine some solutions on how to fix that. And it might be, I get the feeling from you that, look, if the right solution is RPA, so be it. If the right solution is AIML,
Exactly.
so be it. It doesn't matter. You are solution, you're vehicle agnostic, but solution oriented. So, anything
Exactly.
else you would like
Exactly.
to say before we close?
Yeah, I would like to say one thing. See, a lot of people, I mean, this is don't jump to the conclusion that this is what I want to do. And you please make sure you talk to the right people and talk to your team or talk to your customers, identify the challenges that you have. And you need to have a specific outcome matrix that is very important. What is that you want to save as a money, the time of the process, or combination of many. So please do internal discussion, internal validation, try to understand the challenge that you're going through and talk to a specific company, whoever can provide you a solution and technology. But don't stick to one technology or one platform saying this is going to solve all my problems. It doesn't work out that way.
Sure.
It has to be the problem-oriented solution rather than solution-oriented problem. So that's what my suggestion. And if they have that kind of a mentality, it is good to see that they're progressing. Otherwise, they're stuck to one platform and they struggle across all the processes in the business. So yeah, that's my final thought. Actually, if somebody wanted to hear out, it is good. But
Makes sense. So if somebody wanted to get a hold of you and begin a conversation, what's the best way for them to find more information?
yeah, they can reach out to our LinkedIn page, and we have website is being done properly, so there are a lot of information available. And if they want to book a session with us, there's a free consulting section. There is a calendar available, so they can book a slot, and we are more than happy to accommodate and try to understand the challenges before we provide them any solutions as such. So our website is www.avenirdigital.ai, and my LinkedIn page is also there, so they can able to reach out to my team or myself. So we are all available on the platform that is there.
Excellent. Well, Suresh, thank you so much for being with us. Once again, their website is avenirdigital.ai, Avenir digital.ai. That's avenirdigital.ai. Suresh, thank you so much for making yourself available. Congratulations on your success, and I wish you nothing
Thank
but the
you.
best.
Thank you very much, Charles. Nice talking to you. Appreciate it.
From here. Bye bye.